Hey, happy Friday and aloha from Hawaii. This week, Apple decided to start sourcing chips made in the US, Qualcomm announced a bunch of new stuff, and it's really interesting, and India decided to follow the EU in going all USB-C. Welcome to the Friday Checkout. This video was sponsored by NordVPN. Okay, we're starting the brief with a big fuss out of China, where Blizzard games in China will go offline in the country in January next year because Blizzard and its Chinese publishing partner NetEase couldn't do a deal despite them working together since 2008. This ends World of Warcraft, Hearthstone, Overwatch, and so on in the country, and the NetEase Games executive blamed a quote jerk in a personal post on LinkedIn, which sounds a lot like a certain Blizzard CEO. Spicy. Then we heard that Meta will kill off its Portal smart display business and also its smartwatch projects without those ever even making it out of the lab. And over at Twitter, things remain chaotic as well, with Elon Musk sending an email to all staff demanding Twitter employees to work, quote, long hours at high intensity or they could be fired immediately. I'm sure firing even more people will definitely solve all of their problems. Anyway, in the world of crypto, FTX's now no longer CEO admitted to a Vox reporter in many DMs that he lied about saying that regulating crypto was a good idea just to get some good PR and many other spicy things, and the crypto contagion problems actually spread to the Winklevoss twins as well, which had to halt money flows to protect their business, which was getting under fire. And finally, Black Friday deals are starting to trickle in as well, and you can now get a Pixel 6a for just $300 or a Pixel 7 for $500. Not bad. Okay, that's it for the brief. Links to all the Google deals are down in the description, and the first story of the week is going to be Apple deciding to start sourcing chips made in the US potentially by 2023, which would be a huge deal geopolitically. Reporters in Bloomberg managed to quote Tim Cook speaking to an Apple team in Germany, where he said Apple has already made a decision to be buying out of a plant in Arizona, and this plant in Arizona starts up in 2024, and added that I'm sure that we will also source from Europe as those plans become more apparent. Tim Cook is all but certainly referring to the TSMC factory that is being built in Arizona in the US, which is all set to really establish its name as the Silicon Desert, despite seemingly lacking the crazy amounts of water that you would need for a chip fab. What European fab Tim was talking about we don't know yet, maybe the upcoming Intel ones, and of course these fabs will start small at first, so likely not the iPhone chips yet, but maybe some co-processors like the AirPods chips or the Apple Watch ones. Fun fact, legendary investor Warren Buffett also invested into TSMC just this week, so some energy is building here for sure. Apple was all in on Taiwan for its chips and almost all in on mainland China for the rest of its manufacturing, and they're now trying to diversify both, which likely means that they want to reduce the geopolitical risk of their over-reliance on this part of the world. Okay, and my second story of the week is going to be all the new stuff Qualcomm announced right here in Hawaii. Well, actually, it's on a different island, but Hawaii anyway. The biggest deal is of course the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2. It's made on the same 4nm TSMC process as the 8 Plus Gen 1. There's a new CPU and cluster arrangement where Qualcomm has swapped one efficiency core for an extra medium performance core, and apparently that delivers a CPU boost of up to 35%, a GPU boost of 25%, and meanwhile also a pretty massive sounding 45% better power efficiency as well. Those sound like very major jumps that we haven't seen for some time, but the trick here is that the company actually compared themselves to the older 8 Gen 1, not the newer 8 Plus Gen 1, which has received all the benefits of TSMC's new process already too. Compared to the 8 Plus Gen 1, the jumps are more like 10 to 20%, which is a little less impressive, even though it's still kind of a nice year-over-year bump. And of course, the question is also whether these performance gains on paper will translate to sustained performance improvements in the real world as well. Beyond performance, we have a few more nuggets like hardware AV1 decoding support, finally, Wi-Fi 7, which is very fast, Bluetooth 5.3, and hardware ray tracing, following the lead of Exynos from a year ago, and more. The biggest surprise to me was that Samsung will apparently get an exclusive higher frequency variant of the 8 Gen 2 for the S23 series, and it's likely that Qualcomm tried to sweeten the deal for the company to switch away from using their own Exynos chips completely in the S series, at least for a few years. Smart move. Anyway, beyond the phone chip, Qualcomm also announced a dedicated AR-only chip called the AR2 Gen 1, which aims for low power use while embedded in smart glasses, and also a new brand called Qualcomm Orion. This is the company's upcoming next-gen CPU, a custom core which stems from the acquisition of Nubia, which the company hopes will finally be competitive with the Apple M-series chips. There are no real details beyond just the brand name, but maybe late next year we should finally learn more. Okay, and for my last story of the year, India is joining Team USB-C for laptops, phones, and tablets. The world's second largest smartphone market has apparently joined the EU in demanding USB-C, though in this case, they appear to have convinced manufacturers to simply agree to using it. Reportedly, it came from a meeting between a bunch of Indian inter-ministerial representatives from commerce and industry, along with executives from tech companies with names including Apple, Samsung, HP, Dell, and Lenovo. Apple, quote, did not oppose the move to switch to USB-C, and as for timelines, nothing concrete was announced, but an industry rep said that it will happen after the European Union goes through with theirs. So as usual, the Brussels effect takes place, where one country or region does all the hard work and creates a new set of rules, and then all the others can go pick that up and implement it on their own pretty easily as well. Still, pretty nice. Now, as you can probably tell, I'm in Hawaii. I'm actually here to test the Apple Watch. It's in pretty extreme conditions. That lava rock behind me is just all over the island, by the way. It's fantastic. And while I'm here, I actually got reminded of how much I actually rely on my sponsor, NordVPN. Without it, I just can't get access to a bunch of services from back in Germany, like our weird version of HBO, for example, which is geo-blocked, or my library, which gives me access to the statistics I need for research. At times like these, I can just turn NordVPN on and everything works again, and is basically at full speed too, because NordVPN is the fastest VPN provider of all the major ones out there, according to independent speed tests. It also has 5,400 servers in 59 different countries, so whether you're going abroad on a trip or you need to get around some political limitations, this is the tool that you want. NordVPN is also super secure as they have very robust encryption, they don't keep logs on you, and they have all the nerdy security options if you want more, like split tunneling your traffic, a kill switch in case your encryption stops, Onion over VPN to use Tor, and a lot more. You can of course install the service on your phone, on your computer, or even your router to cover your whole home network, with up to 6 devices covered under their standard plans, and those plans are extremely affordable. At nordvpn.com/Friday checkout, you can not only get a massive discount on a 2-year plan, but also 4 extra months for free, and there's also a 30-day money-back guarantee, so if you don't like any of it, you can get all of your money back. There's basically no risk at all. Check it out, use my code FridayCheckout at checkout, and I'll see you next Friday. Well, actually, 2 Fridays from now. I'll skip the next one, but 2 Fridays from now, I'll see you.